If it's undercovered, underreported, or a waste of time, you can be sure we'll be heard. Nothing is off limits.
Welcome to Broad Street Radio.
Welcome to Broad Street Radio. I'm Michael Morris with my friend, once again, C. Stanley Willis, Esquire. Are there any more handles we can put on there?
Any more handles?
Yeah, like how do we make your name
No,
long?
but I have a speech that I'd like to give.
Like a speech therapist?
No, like
you go to a speech?
Like, I want to say like...
Oh, like fourscore?
On June 27th, 2022, Nate incited an erection.
Do you know what's funny about that?
The question is whose?
Is that I would come in as an attorney and say, that's false. That statement is false. Nate is also with us. Nate, how are you over there? Flaccid? Or are you doing well?
That is none of your business, sir.
Okay, he'll show me after the show. I thought the last time we got together was super serious, or as South Park would say, super serial. And I thought we would just lighten the mood because...
Did you just reference South Park?
Yes.
That's awesome.
It's a television show. It's super serial. So I was thinking about Nate has to record all this stuff, and then after he's already heard it once, he has to edit it. What a shit job that would be. Nate, is that fair to say?
Well, now I've got an awesome assistant editor that has to listen to your blabble. I mean, you talking.
What is he, her's name?
Richard.
Come on.
Richard.
Dickhead.
Richard?
So the question...
Does Richard have a last name?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you're not going to give it out?
I don't know if it, I haven't asked him. I don't
Because you don't know if he has a criminal record. Wouldn't it be amazing if, like, what was that show where they tracked down people who were, like, murderers or whatever, and he worked at an AMCO station? All right, we won't talk about Richard, but my question is that we've all had shit jobs, right? And I was thinking of this topic because Nate has to listen to me on the phone describe what we're going to do when we come in here or whatever. And he's always like, oh, that'd be cool. And meanwhile, he's probably like, I could have changed oil for a living. I don't have to do this. And I chose this. Nate, is this the worst job that you ever had?
No.
Really? This is not the worst?
What is the worst job you've ever had?
The worst job I've ever had?
Hand job.
Stop asking me every week the same answer.
Well, stop volunteering.
Worst job I ever had was a call center job outbound to sell magazines.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you're
really
making
bad.
me tense up.
Yeah.
I already
bad.
hate that.
Yeah.
How long did you do that? 17 years.
Probably about like 3 months, somewhere around there. Not very
Oh,
long.
so you suck it out for the gold watch.
Yeah. No, it was horrible.
You get the first hang around bonus.
Wait. So that's what I was wondering is, if you stay 90 days, you get another $300. Stay 91. Fuck it. I'm out. Here's the keys. Wait. So at what point did you know how bad that was?
Going into like dragging my.
So
feet
like, are you
walking
there
into
on day one, and so you know what the job is on day one, and they're like, okay, Nate, here you go. Are you like 20 minutes in? You're like, this was a huge mistake.
Yeah, it was. I needed a job, and at first it was. I mean, I didn't care, but it was call after call. It was outbound, but it did it for you. So
So when you were done, it just
up, and then it went beep, ring, and then the next person.
You're making me nervous about it.
Yeah,
I hate it.
the one thing I did like is if it went to voicemail. I learned the trick of just letting it get, not saying anything, but just letting it sit there for a minute, so that way I didn't get another call right away.
That sounds terrible. I just pictured you going, hey, it's Nate. Call me back.
Let me sell you some men's magazines.
I would have called it.
So it's not like Jake from State Farm.
First of all, who's
Did
ever
you wear
happy about
khakis
that?
and a red shirt?
No, you could wear whatever.
Really? You didn't have to wear khakis and a red shirt?
Why did Jake get replaced? I think we know why he got replaced.
Well,
Everybody
because
says
the old Jake was kind of flabby, and
white
the new Jake is kind of buff,
and only half white.
And that's part of the reason why you get so excited when you.
But
talk
how
about
would you
State
like to be
Farm.
Jake and you got replaced for no reason? Like that's one of the best commercials, and they're like, "We're just going to move you out like you didn't exist."
I don't know.
Why can't he do the commercial with?
I think they
Mahomes?
should just have like two Jakes.
They only have one. Who's a
A pair of
progressive
Jakes.
girl?
They should have a pair of Jakes.
Flo.
Flo, thank you. There's only one Flo. They brought other people in, but Flo is still doing it. That woman's making bank. She's literally done that, and she was in 2 episodes of Mad Men, and she's got a house in like Beverly Hills.
Well, that's sweet.
The lady that does the AT&T commercials makes bank too.
Yeah, and she's got huge possibilities for acting work. You know, she directs those now
Oh, I bet.
because she's known for one thing. If you could search her on the internet, and she has the worst last name you've ever heard, and all it is pictures of her in different ways. And so now she wears this thing. It's buttoned up to her goddamn ears, so you don't see anything. And she's like, "Hello, LaMelo Ball, or whoever you are, whoever's hot for the moment. We got to get that gig. Why can't this show really take off? Or Objections with C. Stanley Willis. That thing's going nowhere. None of us are making $1 million yet.
Well, that's
You know, the
shameful.
2 common denominators is you.
That is kind of personal, and it's also kind of right. This show would be so much better if I wasn't on it. I just can't find anybody else to be on it.
So let me ask you a question, Michael.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
fine.
I'm probably going to regret this, but what is the worst job you've ever had, Michael?
I worked.
I know I'm going to regret this.
Well, there's a few different ones. So the job that that paid the best but was the worst was when I was in college. I had a contract to clean 2 post offices, and one was one that had P.O. boxes in it in the shittiest part of Columbus. Didn't seem like a big deal until it's winter, and I didn't realize that the homeless people, to get out of the cold, would go inside where the P.O. boxes were because it was never locked. And you'd come in, and there'd be a river of piss. And I was expected to clean it up because this post office, the way the streets were built, it was not level. So you literally would come down and you're like, it's not even possible for urine to go that direction. But it paid really well. And at the time, I realized I don't want to do this forever.
So you were, in effect, the piss boy.
Yes, I was the piss mop as long as it was cold. But the good news is only snows and cold in Columbus 11 months a year. And then I got a job working in corporate radio, and I'm like, I'd rather go back to the cleanup job.
See,
It was, you know what the thing is you think that you want to go somewhere, like you have this picture of where you want to get in your career or whatever, and it's almost like it's like the Wizard of Oz when you finally get there, and then the douchebag behind the curtain pulls it back, and you go, oh, you're just another person. This sucks. And that is corporate radio, kids.
okay.
We were talking about this a while ago. Didn't you have some like real shit job on a farm you had to do, or you liked that job?
I wouldn't say I liked it, but for a couple of years when I was in high school, I picked greens basically, or picked. You either cut greens or pick beans or whatever's coming in at the time, and so you get up at 5 or 5:30 in the morning, get down to the farm right before daylight, get out in the field right as the sun's coming up, and then they come get you around 10, 11 o'clock when it's starting to get unbearably hot. And you have however many bushels of stuff.
Why do you have to start at 5:30? Why can't you do it when you want to do it?
Because you pick the produce, and then they bring it in, they count it, and then they're shipping the produce that day. So it's getting to grocery stores, or because a lot of the grocery stores will have farm fresh stuff, right? So the farmers they would ship this out to various grocery stores or distribution centers, and they would want to do it that day. They don't want to sit around. So
I guess that makes sense. I thought you were just picking it for some farmer.
And you start early in the morning because it gets hot. And
So you weren't a real man like myself that worked in an air-conditioned building for 20 years in radio.
yeah, so
You really had it tough.
It kind of sucked some days, but I was young, so it didn't matter.
Did you actually meet anybody that you're friends with today from that job?
No.
Yeah, I've had the same experience in radio.
No.
Nate, when you went out to California, do you still stay in touch with those people?
Yeah, I've got a handful of friends still that are out there. Or
Are they making it, or are
yeah,
they
I've got
just there?
Yeah, it also like there's a handful of them that went into different areas. So they're into like have a buddy that works in the Warner Brothers. He's not making films. He's on the other side.
Is it Ezra Miller?
No.
Okay.
So I heard that in Southern California that the kind of the new thing is that the people that can afford it are moving to Mexico and commuting for their job.
Wait, how the hell does that work? Is that like Sicario? Like I can shoot you in Mexico, but I can come over here? That actually works in Hollywood.
Like down on the Baja, there's some really nice towns on the Baja Peninsula just south of Tijuana. And I guess,
what would that be? Half an hour, 40-minute drive into
L.A.? Probably closer to an hour to L.A., but San Diego's not so far.
That'd be worth it.
Yeah.
How did you make it?
I think San Diego from LA is like an hour and a half, somewhere around.
Oh,
there.
is it that far?
Yeah, It's maybe.
Did you ever
maybe
see
an
it?
hour.
Did you
I
ever
know
see
there are places in LA where you're going like 5 miles and it's an hour and a half though.
Yeah,
the freeways suck. Well, you would know that.
that's for sure. Yeah.
How did you get out there? Did you fly out there or did you drive out there?
Yes. So when I got accepted to the film school, I flew out there with my mom and her sister. The film school got us in touch with an apartment complex that was like a mile away. So I didn't have a vehicle at the time, so I was just going to either walk or luckily got into the same apartment complex as some other students. So after I met and became friends with, got rides back and forth until I got my own car.
That'd be hard for you to make friends out there.
I mean,
they're probably like, oh, electric personality. You're like, look, I'm all beard.
I didn't have a beard
So
back then.
where did you live? Where did you
friends.
live in LA when you were out there?
So it was literally a mile. So the film school I was at, it was right there in Hollywood, the corner of Sunset and Vine.
Oh, cool.
And I lived.
Did you pick up a hooker every day on your way
No.
to work? Oh,
He didn't have a car. A hooker picked him up. That's
Oh,
what I said.
okay.
That's how I got back and forth.
Okay.
I
Well,
just
fair enough.
stayed in her car while she did her business, and then went home afterwards.
He collected the money. Sir, please pay her.
Or I had to punch him.
Now
I
I
wasn't
would.
her pimp. I
You
was
do
pimp
what you
adjacent.
got to do to feed your family.
What's
man.
the movie with Dustin Hoffman, Midnight Cowboy? I want to make that poster with Nate's face on it.
So how long did it take you to drive from home to film school?
So when I finished film school and moved back, the only reason I moved back was because when we finished up film school, it was right in the middle of that big writer strike back in beginning of 2008. So the entire filmmaking town was shut down. So I ran out of money there, and I didn't want to live in LA and work at McDonald's. Or work a normal job.
But you couldn't make enough money.
Wouldn't you work at In-N-Out Burger?
Anyway,
Wait, we had this conversation off the air about this. I don't understand In-N-Out Burger. You said people will not go to McDonald's.
You don't
LA.
understand
Say that.
In-N-Out Burger.
There's tons of McDonald's out there.
But
See,
did you said
go in, you get a burger, and then you go back out.
Yeah.
Well, that's the name of a student
Or go
film
through
I
the
made,
drive-thru.
In and Out.
It's not that intelligent of a population.
What I'm
out there,
saying
so they
is
need to have instructions.
McDonald's is everywhere. In and Out is not, right?
Well, yeah. They're regionally, so just like Whataburger.
Like a Jack in the Box?
Jack in the Box is out there in L.A. Whataburger is like Texas. So it's just
They
regional.
have all of that in Arizona.
And you couldn't get a job at a Whataburger?
No. At that point in my I spent that much. The film school I went to was
That
immersive.
had to piss you off.
The writer's strike and all that stuff.
That's what I
yes,
mean.
I was irritated.
Not that you weren't qualified to work at a restaurant. I meant like it had to piss you off. You finally get out and they're like, hey, good news. There's no work.
Yeah.
It's got to be like being an engineer. It's like the Ford plant's shutting down here. We're moving to Mexico. See you later.
Yeah.
So if you were living in LA now, how psyched would you be about the tunnel system that Elon Musk is building?
I mean,
First of all, I think that's
If I
a
had- yeah.
cool ass idea.
yeah. If they get all the kinks out.
And
Here's
once
the thing: as much as we've kissed Elon Musk, by the way, Elon, we love you.
He's coming on the
as
show
much
in a
as
few
we've
weeks.
kissed his butt, why isn't he on the show so he can tell us about the tunnel system in LA? Because I want to know about that.
I
wish.
sent him a tweet and he said I was a bot, and then I said you can
said
do it
you
on
were a bot.
Yeah, he's like, this is obviously a bot. And so I sent him a picture, a lewd one, so he knew it wasn't a bot. And he said he could
didn't zoom in too
he
much,
he
so
could
I said
identify the street lights behind
Did
me
he
to know it wasn't a
respond-
bot.
Did he respond to Amber? Stop it.
Yeah. I'm so glad we got on this because I'm fascinated by your life choices and the things that you've heard or seen when you went to California.
Yeah.
So when you see Amber Heard is just a fucking nutter, like there's thousands of those women out there, right? Or guys, whatever. You hear how crazy they are.
Yeah.
Like, did you go to film school and someone would be like, you won't believe what I just heard from the Warner Brothers set or something like that, and you're just like, it becomes so commonplace you don't think about it?
Not so much. I mean, like you'll hear a lot of these nutcases or whatever, but not everybody out there is like that.
Brad Pitt? Is Brad Pitt crazy?
Probably not. I never met Brad Pitt. But
Who's the most famous person that you met or pickpocketed?
pickpocketed? No. Let's see. Met or well.
He's gonna say Michael Morris.
No, that's like if we want to start from the bottom up. Maybe.
Wouldn't it be sad if he's like the person that has done the most is you? Because I remember what's that pig's name? Chelsea Handler or whatever. She used to have some kind. I don't know how she did, but she had a film crew that was following her, and she would scream at people as they were like on outdoor cafes. You know, she would see someone and scream at them and be like, "Angelina Jolie, your movie sucks" or whatever. And so she was filming it and then putting it on YouTube and all that stuff. And she was a stand-up comic, but that was kind of how she built her career. I just assumed that as you're walking down the street, you would see all these famous people.
You can. It's not uncommon. I mean, that's where everybody lives. It's so most people that live there, it's, I mean, yes, like, oh, hey, it's a famous person or so and so, but they're not. Like, for instance, I was at it's not a Subway, but it was like a mom and pop's version of it.
Train station?
A sandwich shop, Subway.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant there were mom and pop transit out there.
No.
This cheers hurts my ass.
All right. And so we were in there getting lunch, and William H. Macy was in there getting us like, and nobody really, you know, just another person. But
Did he have a wild? Did he have a Wild Hogs jacket on?
No, he didn't. That was like a couple of years.
Why would that
after
be the first thing that you? All
That
the
was a
movies
good
he made.
movie. That is very underrated.
But why, when you say White Sands, which is one of his most underrated movies, you wouldn't say that? Oh, I'm sorry, that's Willem Dafoe.
Because
did you ever see Willem Dafoe?
Because
at a
there were
eatery?
no White Sands jackets.
Oh, that's a good point.
Why don't you zip it for a few?
Oh, I'm sorry, Alvin and the Chipmunks. They had jackets. Are we going to talk about them?
Speaking of the jackets,
Yes. Go on.
they're in Columbus now.
The blow jackets.
Blue Jackets. Thank you very much.
Hey, you know where they're not? Those players after April, they're not here because they don't need to play any playoff games. You're welcome.
Wow.
What, 3 playoffs in 20-some years?
Why are you such a hater, man?
Listen. You know, I'm going to tell you because this comes from being in media. When they came to town, everybody had to advertise with the Blue Jackets. So clients that say their budget was $100,000 for the year, they would give it to the Blue Jackets and wonder why they're not making any money. Because all you're doing is handing it to, like, a professional sports is the worst thing that you can be involved in terms of trying to get a return on investment. And so that went on for 15 or 20 years. Now they're begging people to do it. And I just think that when you're walking through a building, Nate, I'm sure it's even worse because what's the Staples Center's now, Crypto.com or whatever it's called?
The Crypto Center.
You're not going to get anything out of return on investment on any of that. I mean, Crypto.com is losing its ass, and yet they have a 10-year lease on that building, I think, to call it that. Well, that's going to be gone in a heartbeat, like the Enron Field.
As a high-level media consultant.
Oh, you're the high level me. Yes, I can't wait to hear this. I cannot wait to hear this.
What I can say is that you're totally wrong about that. Everyone should invest in sports media.
And I'm going to say, as your lawyer, that you just perjured yourself and you shouldn't be speaking.
And it comes
I'm not
circle.
under oath, so I can't perjure myself.
You know, it's a shame that you.
If you were a lawyer, you'd know that.
I get asked
Mic
at least
drop.
once a week for law advice, and I give it freely. I don't even charge because I don't think it's right.
Whatever he says, don't listen to him.
I don't mean it's not right to charge. I just mean I'm probably incorrect about what I told you because my answer is always like, I give you a perfect example. Kenny, somebody called him and he had a problem. He goes, I should probably talk to Stan or someone in your firm. He goes, what do you think I should do? And I said, fuck her, don't pay her. That was my legal advice. So then he calls and finds out he should pay her. Then he calls me back and I go, well, fuck him too. Call another lawyer. That was my legal advice.
You are the man.
I do have a question for you about when you started your own business.
When I started my own business.
Did you just start with a door, basically? Like it was just you in an office?
So I was in a basement downtown 501 South High Street, and I had just an office, and everybody there shared a receptionist. And
Oh, it was like a co-working thing, or were there other lawyers?
it was everybody was everybody there was a lawyer.
Legal Eagles?
Yeah,
That was a movie.
yeah.
Barbara Hershey.
I'm aware.
So when you had no business, did you watch Legal Eagles? I guess is what I'm asking you. Did you watch a lot of law movies?
No, I never watched.
You didn't make enough money to rent a movie?
No, didn't make enough money to rent a movie.
The law is really tough. You know, I have another friend that's a lawyer that's been on the show, and he hates being a lawyer, and he literally can't wait to tell you that. So when you're like, "Hey, buddy, how you been?" God, I hate being a lawyer. Nate, you've been around. You know how it is.
That's a bad lead if you want business.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just like, hey,
As a media consultant, I would say, don't lead with
that is some prime bad
I
marketing.
hate what I do.
Well, I just want to know how's your kids and how's your family and all that stuff, and I hate what I do for a
It'd be
living.
great. So, hi, I'm Stan Willis, and I'm a lawyer. I suck at it and I hate it, but I need some money, so hire me.
See, I would. Now that we have the green screen and stuff, I would actually do a commercial. Hi, I'm Stan Willis. If you need a lawyer, call anyone but me. I don't really want to do this.
Please stop bothering me.
Yeah. While I might be good at this, I don't want to help you. I don't know you.
But see, as a media consultant, I can tell you that would be a bad one.
I'm kind of getting the sense that you're giving me treatment from the law show where I am a lawyer. So how long did it take for your practice to like really take off?
Oh wow! Well, it wasn't linear, so it took off. I mean, I did really well for about 5 or 6 years, and then we hit in 1996. So I was doing construction law pretty much exclusively when I first started out, because my undergrad was in civil engineering. I spent a lot of time in, especially the highway construction industry.
Did you ever watch Bob the Builder?
I did, and
Did you learn anything about the law on that show?
I did, yeah. Actually, they had very deep conversations about legal issues on Bob the Builder.
I just feel like that would have, if you brought that up to a client.
His tools can talk.
Yeah, but
which
it's
is
like
kind of incredible, actually, because my tools don't talk to me, and it kind of bothers me.
Are you referring to the people that you work with in your office because you hired them?
Well, the only tool I work with as
Here
a
it
person
comes.
would
Here it comes.
be probably you.
First of all, that's racist.
Singer.
But I think I think Bob the Builder is possibly one of the best law shows on TV. But honestly, I did construction law, and in '97, the highway construction industry kind of dried up for a minute because of some stuff that were going on federally. So I took an in-house counsel gig for a year and just did some work on the side, and then I opened back up in '99 as just a general practitioner. So I was. And that started building, and then 2001, Kelly, my wife, decided to come and join me in the practice, and we ended up. We found that it was we were much better at getting workers' comp clients than other clients, and so we ended up doing a workers' comp Social Security boutique firm for a while, and then that grew really, really fast. And we tried several times to expand into other areas until we finally hit on a good formula. And we got, of course, Ashley came in and started doing personal injury, and then we brought Jason on to do employment law, and it all just seems to grow and fit together pretty well.
So this is your dream.
Okay.
This is what you wanted.
Well, I always wanted to have my own business. Yeah.
But you wanted to be like a legal eagle. Just say that. Could you just say that for the promo? Can we just?
I wanted to be.
Nobody's believing you when you say anything. And I'm trying to build you up so people are like, "Oh, I got to hire this law firm."
Well, I mean, the idea is the idea is the lawyers that I hire love that, including my wife, which I didn't really hire her. She kind of
came with the package.
Yeah.
Hey, I love you. Let's get married.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work there. Fuck.
So, but the lawyers that we have love being lawyers. They love doing what they're doing, and so I do what I do so that they can focus on that and not have to mess with the administrative stuff.
You know, that's a great place to end because I too love being a lawyer. You've been listening to Broad Street Radio. We'll see you next week.